My name is Dave Lees and I work for the Angling Trust as the North West Regional Enforcement Manager. Over the next 15 or so minutes, I'll give you an overview of the Voluntary Bailiff Service, or VBS as it's commonly known. I'll explain how it came about, its structure, how it works and what it has achieved so far. Well, the VBS is a partnership between the Angling Trust and the Environment Agency. And it was recognised back in 2012 anglers' growing frustration with the enforcement authorities. Could a VBS support and empower anglers to assist the EA and the police in fisheries enforcement work? Some key voices began to ask and push this idea, and it started to gather momentum. So if we fast forward 3 years, and this happened. The National Angling Strategic Services Contract, a bit of a mouthful I know, was awarded by the EA to the Angling Trust in November 2015. This was of major significance because the contract included, amongst other things, the recruitment, training and running of VBS in England. 6 regional enforcement managers, of which I'm one, were quickly recruited. We're all retired cops with enforcement experience, but most importantly, we're all keen anglers. So we understand the enforcement aspects and we understand the problems within the fishing world. And we run the VBS in our respective areas. Importantly, this contract was renewed again in April 2020 for a further 4 years. So we must be doing okay. Just taking you on to Environment Agency coverage, and this, the stats on this sometimes shock anglers, but there's approximately 70 fully warranted Environment Agency fisheries enforcement officers in England. These are the officers with green body armour, quick cuffs, batons, radios and body cams. They're all warranted and have the same powers as a police constable. So they can demand to see your licence, they can arrest, detain, search you, your vehicle, should they have reasonable cause. They're all highly trained and very knowledgeable, and they're there to help and advise anglers and clubs. But as you can see, they're limited in their numbers and therefore their coverage. If you take as fact that there are 65,000 kilometres of river, 30,000 still water fisheries in England, if we doubled the enforcement resource of the EA, that would still give each officer over 214 still waters and 464 kilometres of river to patrol. The VBS is clearly a way to assist with this, and we need to take an intelligence-led approach on it. VBS went live in the spring of 2016 across all 6 regions of England. With the induction training of our new VBS members, no footprints in the snow for us on this one. This was all new and it was a steep learning curve for us all. But I think you'll agree it's not bad progress in just 4 months of the NAS contracts being awarded by the EA. So what does the actual training involve? Well, this is a typical VBS induction itinerary. And this is from the southeast of England, but it would be replicated in all the other 5 areas throughout England. I'm not going to read it through stage by stage, I'll let you do that. I'll just pick out a couple of the key ones for me. They're all relevant, but there's a few that stand out above the others. The key one for me is the Voluntary Bailiff Service organisation and expectations, including health and safety. And this is given by the Regional Enforcement Manager. It's key for our new members to understand how we work, what's expected of them, how the organisation is structured, and that's quickly backed up by pocketbook rules, report writing and the VBS website. That's key for us understanding the best way to record and present evidence to report to the police, to report to the EA. Other ones I'd like to mention are nets, lines and traps by the EA. That's always very, very entertaining. Physical examples of the ingenuity that some of our poachers will go to try and take fish. Never ceases to amaze me the lengths they will go to. At the end of that training, volunteer bailiffs are issued with branded clothing. This consists of a jacket that you can see there in the picture, waterproof jacket, a t-shirt, a cap, an ID card and a pocketbook. And the pocketbook logbook is still the best and the simplest way to record evidence. They're also provided with a password which gives them access to the Voluntary Bailiff Service website. So they can create a patrol log. It's a very simple procedure. You can do it on your phone, you can do it on your laptop, you can do it on your tablet. It takes 2 minutes to post a patrol. If there's more in it, it's what we class as an instant log. If you've reported something to the police or the EA, that might take a couple of minutes longer, but it's still a simple procedure. They can access the bulletin board. Got forum access, they can liaise with other VBS members. There's a very useful document archive contained in there with all points of reference from the training, with PowerPoints, with video clips, etc., etc. And there's a dashboard. This is key to what we do. This is the focus of what we do. Everything goes through here, and it's vitally important that our new members and our existing members use it effectively. So VBS, how does it actually work? Well, very simply, the VBS works by empowering anglers, all our volunteers are anglers, acting as eyes and ears, gathering information which when processed forms intelligence, which is the lifeblood for effective enforcement. We then reassure by educating, working together with partners, obtaining good enforcement outcomes, and very importantly, publishing such activity to get the message out. We publish this via social media, via local press, via angling press, via our own website and our own Facebook pages. Because, and this is a really important equation, the fear of detection equals reduced offending rates. That's been proved to be the case time and time again. I know that from my policing experience. So how do we actually deliver VBS? Well, there's two phases to VBS. Currently, most of the country is at phase 1, which is eyes and ears only. It's all about gathering intelligence in a structured way. As mentioned, all VBS members are trained to record and report any suspicious activity to a high evidential standard. Our VBS use their training combined with their life and angling experience to look out for anything that is suspicious and wrong and report it via our website. Currently, the VBS structure only covers England, which is divided into 6 regions, each covered by a regional enforcement manager like myself, and these regions more or less mirror the EA areas, which are based on river catchment areas. We aim to run nationally at about 500 VBS members. We're not far off that at the moment, about 450, but this number will flex a little depending on certain factors. So we've covered the intelligence gathering, the actual structure of VBS. We have, each area has nominated Environment Agency Fisheries Enforcement Officer leads. We also have experienced VBS practitioners who are area coordinators, if you like, sergeants, to help me to run the VBS. And we have our secure website, which is managed by the regional enforcement managers. I check mine first thing in the morning and last thing at night to make sure I don't miss anything. Phase 2 involves additional Environment Agency training. It's an application process when it opens up, and there will be an interview and extra training. The extra training is needed because you will be partially warranted, which is a huge responsibility. I suppose the best analogy I can give you is the special constabulary within the police service. If you go to phase 2, and you don't have to go to phase 2, you can stay at phase 1, which will remain an important part of the VBS. You come under the supervision of the EA. Phase 2 is currently a pilot project in the South East and in East Anglia, and if successful, like phase 1, this will also be extended throughout England. So VBS actual patrols. Patrols can take many forms. It can be single patrols out on your own. You may be a club bailiff. You may get out on your water regularly. You don't have to wear the branded clothing. That's just an example of the t-shirt that you're issued with. But those are vitally important patrols. They're the key patrols because they generally flag up problems early. It can be whilst you're fishing. Again, you don't have to wear the VBS kit. I think this was just a pose for the picture, but a bit of drop shotting along the canal. Why not? It's a patrol. Your eyes and ears out on the water whilst you're fishing. It can be whilst you're walking the dog, cycling, jogging, walking the kids, whatever. If you're out on the water, your eyes and ears on that water, that's a patrol. We've all been here before, haven't we? That water that we want to fish, that's got a rainbow over it, fish topping in the margins, looks fantastic. Whilst you're recce in the water, that's another patrol. The reality the next day when you go to fish it is often a little bit different. We all know that one. In addition to single patrols, here are some examples of the various group patrols and joint patrols that we carry out. These are rarer because they're very resource intensive, but all are, as previously stated, intelligence led. By approaching the authorities with a clear intelligence picture of where and what the issues are, they are much more likely to allocate their precious resources to assist. These are invaluable for building local contacts with both the police, the EA officers and others. All who take part always go away with a much better grasp of the issues and are much more likely to address them. Such patrols educate people and reinforce the value of partnership working. By publicising them via social media, etc., they increase the fear of detection and they definitely reduce offending rates. This works, it's not rocket science. So, top left, joint patrol with the police and the EA. Group patrol with just VBS members trying to build on intelligence that we've received from individual patrols. Joint patrol with the EA. One on Windermere, boat patrol there on Windermere, one on the River Dee in Chester with the police, the EA and the local council river patrol. All these high profile patrols are very, very effective, but we've got to use them wisely and they must be intelligence led. Here's some stats for you regarding the VBS and patrolling. From April 2016 through to the 30th of September 2019, so three and a half years, total number of patrols 36,496. That translates to 85,369 hours. That is volunteer bailiffs with eyes on the water, looking out for poaching, for pollution, for anything that's not right. That is absolutely huge, and it's all free. When you drop down beyond that, patrols with the EA 333, patrols with the police 232, reports to the EA 810, and reports to the police 441. Other reports, so waste, pollution, fly tipping, etc., 211. And intelligence logs shared with the EA and the police is over 500. These impressive figures are national figures for England, and you'll probably be aware that there's been an increase in poaching over the COVID-19 lockdown period. The VBS has still been out there doing our stuff, obviously within the COVID-19 restrictions, and I know that these figures have expanded considerably since September 2019. Because of our success in gathering intelligence, we needed to manage it, and we needed to manage it effectively. In January 2017, Gary Thomas joined the team. He's a retired West Mercia Police Detective Inspector and a highly experienced intelligence practitioner. Gary now leads on setting up information sharing agreements with partners, secure criminal justice system email, and collating and sharing incoming intelligence from the Voluntary Bailiff service. It's important to note that our intelligence system is fully compliant with the National Intelligence Model, commonly known as the NIM model, which all police services adhere to, and most importantly, this system ensures that the source of the intelligence is always fully protected. Here is a summary provided by Gary, our intelligence manager, regarding the breadth of incidents reported via the VBS. I'll quickly read through them. Explosives used to kill fish. Vehicles reported used by wanted offenders in rural burglaries, arrested and given custodial sentences. Poachers with dogs illegally hunting deer and badgers reported, who had previously seriously assaulted a witness. These were all detained on the information one of our VBs gave. Prevention of a bankside suicide attempt. Poachers using crossbows to catch fish. Specific intelligence regarding an organised crime gang leader and persistent poacher subject to proceeds of crime order. Recovery of stolen property. Illegal destruction of wildlife and habitat. Illegal falconry. illegal shooting of deers and raptors, 80 kilograms of cannabis resin found in a location where there'd been recent police cannabis farm raids. All of this is in addition to the more obvious reports regarding fisheries offences. I think you'll agree this is quite impressive stuff. The police and EA really do value what we do. So VBS equals positive change. Why do I claim that? Well, my experience over the last nearly 5 years has shown me that this is the case. The angling community are more empowered. There is definitely an increase in confidence. There's a massive increase in angling related intelligence to both the police and the EA. Wide awareness has been raised. Multi-agency approach, as previously explained with previous slides. There's a clear strategy, a peer strategy. I'll just explain that. That's P for prevention, I intelligence, E enforcement, R reassurance. There's education and integration, particularly with our Building Bridges project, which is aimed at educating and integrating immigrants into this country who perhaps have a language barrier to understanding the rules. Many of our VBS members are also volunteers for the Building Bridges project. And finally, that greater fear of detection, which, as we know, reduces offending. So, how do I become a part of the VBS? Well, we recruit every spring with numbers limited to 20 new recruits per region. It is an application process. Details of how to apply are on the Angling Trust website, anglingtrust.net, as are the details of your 6 regional enforcement managers. Unfortunately, the VBS is now closed for applications in 2020. However, to express an interest and so that we can contact you when we resume recruitment for 2021, please contact the Angling Trust's National Volunteers Manager, indicating where in England you are based. This lady's details are karen.hinson@anglingtrust.net. Finally, just from me, many thanks for watching and listening. I hope that you found this useful.